Hello everyone and welcome back. In this video we're going to get a high-level understanding of what authentication and authorization are and how we can use them inside of our web applications. So first off, what is authentication? Authentication is basically just a way for us to verify that you are who you say you are. I can say that I am the king of Siam, but there's no way to authenticate that because it's not true. However, if I say my name is Josh Bastean and I am a professor of computer science at Coker University, then we can verify that because you can look it up online, you can send emails, you can check that out and make sure I am indeed who I say I am. Authentication is used, generally speaking, when it comes to applications with a username and a password. That's by far the most common type of authentication, although other options do exist, such as certificates, tokens, biometrics. You've got like keys and actual physical devices that you have to plug into USBs sometimes are becoming more popular. You've got like three-factor and multi-factor authentication, where like if you have your Google set up and you sign in, they'll send you a text or something or a notification on your smartphone. All those are different forms of authentication. Now, authorization, a lot of times it's easy to get these confused because they sound similar and they are related, but they are two different things. Authorization is used after you authenticate, and it determines what you have permission to do. So basically, I may be authenticated, in other words, logged in, but I still don't have permission to do something on different web applications. Like I can't authenticate to Facebook and then change everybody's pictures or start posting as other people because I don't have authorization to do that. And I'll go ahead and kind of give you the warning like I do every time. I'm probably going to stumble over these and get them mixed up at one point or another, and I apologize about that, but it is what it is. So why do we care about these? Well, it's very important. After setting up authentication, we can be relatively sure that the person who logs in is who they say they are. If somebody steals their password, obviously that's not going to be the case. But by setting up authentication, we are taking reasonable steps to make sure our users' data is protected, that kind of thing. This means that we can give these users permissions to do things that others don't have permission to do, such as editing and deleting items that they create. So if I have somebody come in and create a comic inside of my Yelp Comics website, I wouldn't want anybody to be able to delete or edit things. However, it would be nice if the people who actually uploaded them were able to edit them or delete them or things like that. It depends on what you're wanting to do with your website. In my recipes website, anybody who is authenticated can create new recipes and edit their own recipes and delete their own recipes, but they cannot do that to other people's. You could have people post comments that are attached to their username. You could even have people access administrator functions. All these are set on authentication as a prerequisite for authorization, because you have to authenticate first. You can't authorize something until you determine that the person is indeed who they say they are. There are a lot of different common levels of authorization, and honestly, you can set up as many as you want. You could have as many different types of levels of authorization as you so desire. Some common ones are authenticated users. Generally speaking, these are the people who can just view the information, honestly, not even all of the information. On the comic website, this is anybody who's not signed in, which is everybody at this point because we haven't added authentication yet. But we're going to add that and kind of cut off part of the application to people who are not logged in. You can have authenticated users, you could have group managers, you have admins, and at the very tip top you have the super user. Super user is the account that has literal Superman powers over anything. This is the person who has the most permissions. They can change and delete and edit anything on the entire application. So it just depends on what type of authorization and what type of permissions you want to give people. We are going to be using Passport.js to set up authentication, but there are other options that you can use after this course. In this course, you're required to use Passport.js because that's what I'm going to teach, that's what I'm going to assess you on. However, that's not the only one. It's the most popular, and in my opinion, it's the easiest to learn and probably the best. Again, this is my opinion. However, there are plenty of other options out there that you could use, and they work just fine. As always, if you have any questions, please let me know. I'll be happy to help. Thanks.